Well, hey there, Convention of States, state leaders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on our Thursday night state leaders call here. Normally, Ginny is your host. She's not here tonight, and I want to ask you all to please have her in your prayers. She has a family emergency that's going on right now, so we're kind of here winging it a little bit tonight. I'm going to hand it over to Mark, and he's going to take it away for this evening.
And so what we're going to do, I think, do we have Mark White on here? Can
I'm going to bring him on right now.
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start with something really special that I love to do, and we'll let Mark really kind of take it away as soon as he gets on. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to award a challenge coin. And this is a really special thing that we do, and it's something that we do pretty rarely, to be honest with you. A lot of you know about the challenge coins. You know that we minted 300 of these, literally just 300. People say, and then we broke the mold. We actually broke the mold. The mold is gone. None of these can ever be minted again. The front side has Colonel George Mason on it, really the founder of our movement, going all the way back to when he put that second clause in, gave us the power to do what we're doing. It has the COS logo on the back. Really interestingly, it's an old logo. It's one that's outdated now. It's a collector's edition, I guess you could call it, because we have a new logo. And we're in the high 270s, maybe even 280s on giving away the 300 challenge coins. Each one comes with a certificate, and that certificate is signed by me and my co-founder, Mike Ferris. Just kind of cool because Mike hasn't been with the organization for quite a few years now. He's coming back, but you have 300 certificates signed by me and Mike Ferris, signed and numbered. Each one comes with a little stand. I think the best part, I love the challenge coin, but it comes with a lapel pin, which is really beautiful. That lets us know, Rick know, me know, Jason know, when we're out in the field, we run across somebody that's wearing one of those lapel pins, we know that we're dealing with somebody pretty special. Now, we think you're all really special. We love all of you. Anybody who's willing to volunteer and put in the time is special. But some people just kind of go above and beyond. And I think in all of your state teams, you all know who those people are, the people who are always there. They're doing all the events. When somebody says something needs to be done, they're the person that always raises their hand. They probably held multiple positions on your state team. You probably see them at every event. They're traveling all over their states. And so that's why if Rick and I are out in the field, or Jason, or any of us are on the field, and we see somebody with a challenge coin pin on, it's kind of like, I'm kind of in awe, honestly, when I see that person. And so we like to make sure that we recognize those people. I don't know if we've ever done this on a state leaders call, Jason. Can you recall?
Maybe once or twice, not very often though.
Yeah.
No.
It's pretty rare. Usually, it's kind of at a local meeting or something like that. So you guys are going to get to witness what I think is one of the most important moments in Convention of States, which is the awarding of a challenge coin. And this challenge coin is done in our Hawaii team. I was just out in Hawaii, so I know this recipient really well. I know that team really well. And so what I want to do right now is I want to turn it over to Mark White, who's our state director there. We were just together, spent a bunch of time together, and he is going to discuss and kick us off on awarding this very important challenge coin tonight. So go ahead, Mark, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Jason. And welcome, Rick Santorum. Great to see you on tonight's call. And yes, we have done this years ago. Challenge coins were presented on state leader calls, and I was one of those, in fact. And in fact, I've been remiss. I was one of the challenge coin recipients, and I'm the only one in my state so far that's received one. Well, that's my fault, not pursuing this any further. And so I'm making that correction tonight. And I want to acknowledge the worthiness of this honor to Brett Kulbis. He is my right-hand man. He's our grassroots coordinator, but he's so much more than that. Let me tell you some of the things he's done. He joined Convention of States here in Hawaii in 2016, and he immediately brought 3 district captain volunteers on board with him. Unbelievable. He's been instrumental in the Hawaiian Republican Party. He's a member of the party, he's an officer there, and he's been instrumental in getting our Convention of States endorsed in the party platform and party resolutions. We're one of the very few states in which the Republican Party officially endorses Convention of States. And look, Brett has been with me through thick and thin since that day in 2016 he signed on. He has been recruiting thousands of petition signers and supporters. every year we grow about 20%. That's almost, well, it's over 1,000 people a year. We say, well, that's not very many. Well, look, we only have 1,000,004 people in Hawaii total. And so it's a huge number for us. And Brett has been with us at gun shows, shooting fairs, church groups. He's been in front of legislators with us. He's been in front of all kinds of civic groups with me. So he's responsible for so many of our current support listing in our Citizen Builder database. He's led our Hawaii team. You know, we kind of fought this telepatriot thing for a little while. You know why? Because look, we're 6 hours away from the East Coast, and so we can't really gin in exactly with the, you know, get out the vote telepatriot. But he has got it to where we are doing local telepatriot using COS Action app, and it's because of his active involvement in that application that's really gotten us to a whole new level at reaching out to our supporters and our public. He's our Facebook page manager. He recently recruited a leadership team on Maui County, which is 4 different islands. We had volunteers there, but no team. And he's got a team active over there. For the first time ever, we actually have some involvement in active participants at Maui. And Mark was over there just a month ago. He has developed and implemented our first ever Hawaii-centric 12 days of activism for 2022. So critical right now, because, you know, we don't go to sleep now. You know, Mark was out here this month, and that wasn't the end of our year. That was the beginning of next year. And Brett has fallen right into that line, and he has gotten us doing 12 days of activism now. And it's just absolutely astounding that he's been able to take this on. Look, he's just everywhere with us. He provides his Zoom account for our bi-weekly statewide meetings. So he's just fantastic. I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of this honor. And I'm going to turn it over to, I think Dennis is still on the line. I hope he is, Dennis Denton. He's got a few more things he can add, and I'd like to have Dennis make a few comments.
Give me just a second here. I'll bring Dennis in. There he is. All right, Dennis, you should be able to unmute and turn your video on and take it away.
We hear the dogs.
There we go. Yeah, you got the dogs in the background.
Dennis, we don't have your audio. Dennis, we can't hear you. I'm afraid he can't hear us either.
Dennis, you're muted.
I think he put his phone down. It looked like he had phone audio and oh, there we go.
There you go. Okay. All
There
right,
we
so
go.
I'll start again. As a regional director of the Western region, I'm very proud to be able to work with the Hawaii team. You know, as Mark said, Hawaii is a small, but it's a very busy team. And leadership at times, you know, they have to wear a lot of hats. And this is kind of norm for both Mark White and the Grassroots coordinator, Brett. Here's a team who has between 6 and 10 district captains consistently, and which, by the way, they're always consistently near 100% activity. And consider this, you know, Mark mentioned that they have around 8,000 petition signers, and out of that number, a volunteer team of about 69 people. That's about 0.8% of the petition signers. Now that seems like a pretty small number, but when I looked at some of the states that had 10 times the number of petition signers, they're right in the ballgame. In fact, they beat some of those big states, and so that's really a neat thing. So anyway, they make the most of what they have, and Brett is a big part of making that happen. And I've always been amazed at how much the Hawaii team can accomplish. And Mark mentioned a few. They boast a number of growing sponsors and co-sponsors for our resolution. They have a strong presence at the Capital Rally and Search Day, and they set up tables at gun shows. They pull off special events. They have a quarterly newsletter for supporters and legislators, and Brett is involved in a lot of these things. And also, they pull off special events like the one Mark just attended. And all of this being spread out over several islands. And Brett plays a big part
in this team's success as a leader and a mentor, and I fully enjoy working with him. And Mark, you recently visited with Hawaii and the Hawaii team, so I'm done, and I'm going to turn this over to you for your perspective. Thanks. And thank you, Brett.
You know, I've had the chance to go to Hawaii quite a few times to visit with the Hawaii team. It's hard to get there. You know, it's a long ways. It was easier when I lived in California. From Texas, it's a long ways, and I'm always happy to go. And the reason I'm happy to go is because of the Hawaii team. And one of the things that you hear the Hawaii team talk about a lot is the idea of the aloha spirit. And until you go there and you experience it from people who actually live in Hawaii, it's a different thing. You know, a lot of us go to Hawaii and we go to Hawaii as tourists. And we experience what I describe as Disney Hawaii, right? It's not the real Hawaii. It's not the Hawaii that people who live there experience. It's the resort Hawaii, and you know, it's everybody's happy and everything's always easy and you're on vacation Hawaii. And that's not the experience of real folks who live there. It's a hard place to live, first of all, I gotta say. Having met with the grassroots, taxes are really high, the legislature is really blue, regulation is completely overwhelming. They had some of the worst COVID lockdowns in the country, completely destroyed their main industry, which is tourism. The government didn't really care about that. I mean, it is a tough place. So one of the things I just want you guys to understand, and when we talk about the Hawaii team, I think there's a natural tendency just to kind of think Hawaii 5-0, and how cool it must be and beautiful. What a great place to do COS. Now, it is a great place to do COS, but I would say that's because of this team and the aloha spirit. And the aloha spirit is a really incredibly welcoming, warm, kind, generous, loving spirit. When I go there, I'll give you a couple of highlights of what happens when I go there. You see, Mark White is wearing his Hawaii team shirt right now. These guys have beautiful Hawaiian-style shirts that are also patriotic. They're incredible. When I wore mine at home, everybody's asking me, where do you get a patriotic Hawaiian shirt? And these guys, when I come, they make sure that I've got a custom shirt. It's got the logo on it. They had them made with my name on them. I love them. And that's kind of the aloha spirit. I want you to think about it. They go out of their way, find the shirt, have it made in my size, have it there for me. You always get you're welcomed with lace. They bring candy. It's just an incredibly welcoming place. And I did a couple of last time I was there, 3 events. And when you go out and do the events, this is one of the things that amazes me. It's hard for us in any state to get around to multiple events, right? And then I want you to think about what these guys do, which is they're going island hopping. When they want to go from one city to another, they're often leaving their island and flying to another island. It's not cheap. You guys pay for this stuff out of their own pockets. And it's the weirdest thing, because for me, I feel like there must be more than one Brett, because wherever I go, he's there. And he's always there before I get there. So it doesn't matter what island I'm on, I'm going to see a smiling face. It doesn't matter what event I'm at, whether it's a lunch or a dinner or a town hall, he's going to be there and he's going to be making sure everything's set up, everything's running smoothly. It's for me, when I think of Hawaii, I don't think of Hawaii like a vacation place anymore. I think of it as a family for me and for us. And I got corrected when I was there last time, because I sort of had separated myself and said, you know, you're home here. And they said, no, this is your home too. And they made it really clear that I belong there. And that's how they are with everybody. When you look at a guy like Brett, what he's done and how long he's been in and how much he does and the effect that he has, not just in COS, but in the party at large, you see him working elections and working the polls and doing everything we wish that every single COS volunteer would do, and doing it with that incredible aloha spirit, from my perspective, is just the quintessential challenge coin recipient. It's hard to imagine anybody better to be given a challenge coin to. So I'm really honored to be part of presenting this challenge coin to Brett. And Jason, can we bring Brett on so he can say a few words? Can you find him out there?
Yeah, Brett, you are on as a panelist. If you would unmute your video and your audio and your microphone, we'd love to have you on here. There he comes.
You might be too embarrassed. There he is.
Well,
all right, you're on the spot, Brett.
Well, thanks, Mark. Mark White, you sort of snuck this in on me just 10 minutes ago. So I'm kind of embarrassed. You're getting my messy room that I'm in. I don't have my backdrop that I can usually put up. So, but anyways, wow, not expected. Well, thank you for everybody for doing that, for doing this. Thanks, Mark, for putting me in for it. You know, my successes are not just based on what I do. It's based on all our team members here in Hawaii and how they are, you know, really responsive to the action, the direction of both Mark and myself in putting things together. Wow, really, you caught me off guard, but thanks for everything. You know, and as Mark Meckler said, you know, he talked about that little incident. Yeah, he got to the Capitol and said, you know, hey, I'm in your backyard. I said, no, Mark, this is your backyard too. So you're a family member, as we always say in the Convention of States, the realm. You know, we're all family members, and so everybody is welcome to come, and you know, we'll give them the same aloha spirit. So you know, it's easy for me to do my job because of everything that Mark White does at the top level. So, and I think the other part of my success, and I'll equate it to my military time, you know, retired after 26 years as a senior chief, you know, while we are the ground level guys that keep the troops going, Mark is the guy that keeps the rest of the machine going. So whatever I do, it's in support of what Mark wants to do, and the goal of Convention of States as a whole, and our goals here in Hawaii. And again, very, very appreciative. So, and I'll just end with this, you know, it's duty is ours, results belong to God, as we always say. And this is just one of those things. So mahalo, and thank you for everything. Any questions?
Yeah, no, we love you, Brett. We appreciate it. Thanks, Mark, for making this happen, and Dennis for being on tonight. Really appreciate you guys, as always. Yeah.